Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be discussing one of the games that I won against a very high rated opponent. Obviously you can see the rating is 2350 Mike Owen Chess, and his rating has been like, on an average, if we count all the ratings, I think it nearly sums up to like 2200, right? No, not 2200, 2100. So basically he has a rating of 2100 above in most of the classical format. Like Rapid he has 2300, Blitz he has 2200, Bullet he has 2258. So okay, so let's begin today's game. And this, believe me or not, you want to stay till the end. You want to look how I checkmated this guy. Okay, so let's begin. We start with our usual e4, I guess. Oh, d4. Oh my god. What has happened to me? In general, I don't play d4, but okay. Let's begin. These are some normal moves. This is known as the Karo Khan defense, by the way. The C6 D5 variation is known as the Karo Khan when you play it with black. Okay, so let's begin. Let's see what has happened. Okay, so pushing the flank pawns, as Alpha Zero says, you should always push the flank pawns. That's how you attack in the modern day world. Okay, let's see what happened. Okay, we still push. He doesn't take with the knight. Cool. I take his pawn. He takes my pawn. Cool. Till here, it's everything is pretty normal. The positions is, for black, it's perfectly fine. For white, it's perfectly fine. No need to worry whatsoever. Let's see what happens here. I take his bishop. He takes my bishop. Black's king structure is a bit weak now, but it doesn't really matter because he has this pawn protecting this knight, this bishop protecting this knight, and this rook protecting this knight. It's very hard to break through in this position. Let's see what I did. Okay. 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 Cool. Okay. In this position, I think white should take with the pawn. Let's see what did I do. Okay, I thought if he takes with the pawn, I will be taking it back. E4, or maybe knight d4. Anything is fine. And if he advances the pawn, that's good for me because he just blocked his own path of attacking my king. And if he does push this pawn, I thought I will be going back or I might be going front. Anything is fine. Both are perfectly fine. Nobody's here. Okay, so let's move forward. Let's see what happens. Okay, he takes the pawn. I take the pawn. He attacks my queen with rook e8, and then I move rook d3. This is the critical position. What are the weaknesses in white's camp here? Here we can see this pawn is a weakness on g2, f2 is a weakness because no one is protecting them, and then in the long run, this central pawn is also a weakness because once this queen moves or this knight moves, this always has a threat of losing. You always have a threat of losing the central pawn unless you play c3. Then you have a solid central pawn structure and you don't need to worry about anything else. But here, this guy, he should have gone knight g4, attacking this pawn and putting a royal fork on my pieces. Here he went wrong and he plays knight e4. Now, in first glance, this move might look very exciting to everyone. Like you're moving ahead with the knight, you're attacking this bishop. Now also you're trying to make a royal fork. But there is a problem. The problem is once I take with the knight, let's say I take with the knight. That's what I did in the real game, okay? If you take with the pawn, okay, this diagonal gets opened up to the king. So I can give you check here or here. I can give a check here with the queen or here. Let's see what has happened. Here, there's another critical thing. Now, I can give you check here. Okay. The problem with this position is almost already lost for black. Because once I give check here, let's say you move, you have two options with the king. Either you move here or you move here. If you move to h8, then the game is already lost, believe me or not. This is similar to the pattern that I already have shown you in my first video of YouTube, where we sacrifice almost both of the rooks. When I say almost, in this particular position, we don't sacrifice both the rooks. Let's see what happens. We sacrifice this rook, he has to take with the king, has no other option. We give another check, he can block with the bishop or he can block with the queen. He cannot go back because the queen is covering the square of g8. anything that he does, let's say he blocks with the queen, I just take the queen. Let's say he blocks with the bishop, I just take the bishop and it's a mate. It's just done. It's not a mate, I mean you can go here, but the position is almost lost. Like, what will you even do in this position? I'll just go knight e5, and then if you take with the knight, I'll take with the pawn, I'm a queen up. So this position is already lost. Okay, let's discuss what happens if you take with the rook. The thing is, if you take with the rook, I will go knight h5. Now attacking your rook, asking question what you want to do, and inviting the rook to take this pawn. Now taking this pawn is not good, because I will go queen h3. Now there is a lot of pressure on this pawn, and in future I will be going bishop c3. And once I go bishop c3, there will be a lot of attack towards this black king. So this is also certainly not a good position for black. Let's see. Now I will be showing you some crazy patterns of mate in this particular position. Let's say he goes like this. Let's see he takes with the pawn. Okay, because taking with the rook is obviously bad. I give you a check. So obviously you cannot go here because it's a forced mate in 5. You have to go here. And if you go king f8, then the problem is I go here with the knight. Then it's knight g5, threatening a mate here. Let's say you defend with the rook. Just let's assume you defend with the rook. I can go here, winning this rook. The exciting thing is, let's say you do a random move like this. It's just a mate. You cannot take with the rook because the rook is pinned. It's just amazing, no? Some mates are just amazing. The sequence, these patterns, these are just amazing. Okay, now let's say I go again check. Let's say you go here and I don't threaten this. I give you check again. Your king has no place to go anywhere. All the squares have been covered by my bishop and my queen. What will you do here? See, you have very few options. First, to block with the rook and losing an exchange. But if you block with the rook, I'll go in with the same idea. I'll go in with the same idea. Let's say you go here. I'll just take this pawn. And the position completely crumbles apart. It's a very bad position for black. It's almost undefendable. Now let's say I give a check. Let's say you give back a pawn or something. Let's say I give another check. You have nothing to do. Like, you have to take with the knight. Let's you take with the knight. I take with the pawn, attack your queen. Let's say your queen moves. And now again I threaten the same thing. Let's say you defend again. Okay. Now I again take this pawn and the position crumbles apart. Now you might say, Ayan, but what's the issue here? Let me just move my king. What's the problem? Well, there is a certain problem that you lose this bishop. You might say, Ayan, why not here? Because the rook is already covering this. The only way to defend in this position is to bring the bishop back, resulting in losing this pawn. This video is going a bit longer, but it's absolutely worth it. These patterns are absolutely amazing. And you might ask, Ayan, but after this position, if I take, he takes, and if you give check here, what's the issue? There's no issue, absolutely fine. Queen b3 also works, queen c4 also works, both work. I went with queen c4. Let's see what he did. And I'll come out. I told you, I promised you that I will be showing you how he got checkmated. He had 24 seconds. He took 3 seconds and he blundered mate in 1. Being a 2-300 player, you shouldn't be blundering mate in 1 having 24 seconds in hand. And I of course saw that and he got checkmated. I mean, even when you win a game so easy, I think you should always analyze it because you will be seeing a lot of beautiful patterns in between. So this was the game for today. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead. See ya.